up here in the top right in the teal for KT Rolster. It is.
KT Roaster Zest.
I like that font, actually.
Yeah. I was actually looking at that in first game, and I was like, oh, what font was that? I figured that out.
His opponent cross spawns over here in the red for SK Telecom T1.
SK Telecom T1 Party.
Got a long name there. SK Telecom T1 Parting.
It's all one. Got to keep wiping that sweat off his hands.
Yeah.
Stressing.
You guys could see actually before the game started, Parting was like bouncing around, wiping the sweat off like you were saying, just like obviously agitated, where Zest was just sitting back at his chair. He's like, oh, I got this. This is fine.
Yeah. Confidence factors into this. These two are the favorites of the group. Now, a lot of people like to argue that when you see two players at the front of a group, the chances that the players are going to get out of the group are less, both of them, because they're like, well, one of them's going to losers match, so if they lose that too, and it's out. But the reality is, if you lose twice in a group, and you think about it as an overall overarching group, and it's actually no less likely that the first two will get out. I can see why people would argue that, but anyway, that might be something that goes into the players' minds as well. If they're thinking about, like, well, if I lose this, then I go to losers match, and I don't know who I'm facing, so I'm not prepared there, and not as prepared.
Yeah, this is just the way the groups are set up. Just the setup here, it's obviously going to work out that way for both guys here.
A lot of pride on the line here. As a player who is now considered the best Protoss in the world versus a player who was once considered to be the best Protoss in the world and one of the best Protosses in Pro League. So we're just looking, of course, at some of these results here from Zest, playing in IEM New York in Season 8, of course, winning the GSL. Parting, on the other hand, in 2013, that was really his year, going to the round of 8 of MLG Winter, going to the round of 8 of GSL Season 1, and in the OSL going to the round of 16. Even some more stats here.
Yep. It says like major results 1 and the major results 2. He needs like 2 pages here.
2012 2013 were Parting's best years. The end of 2012 was really like an insane year for Parting. It was like the year of Parting. Him and Life at the end were just like dominating everything.
Yep.
In looking at this right now, I mean, these two players are doing mirror builds, both with the double gate.
Yep, exact. Even down to the chrono boost, that being pointed out by the observer there. Exactly 100 energy spent by both these players for chronos.
And we have our first variation now. Faster Twilight Council for Zest, just like in the build that we saw from Parting in the last game. And double Sentry from Parting. You see this build every now and then. Usually not from a more aggressive player like Parting. Then this is builds like this normally comes out of a player like Creator or like maybe Stats from time to time.
Yeah. And at the same time, he's going to throw down that Nexus. It's pretty early here. Thinks he can defend it regardless of what Zest is doing.
Well, I think it's going to be Blink. Although, yeah, okay, I was going to say, he hasn't started it yet.
Yeah. Just got to wait. We've seen crazy things happen here in StarCraft. People coming out with new builds all the time.
It's like one player once in a PvP in the old GSL seasons. I think it might have been San. He like just made a second Twilight Council. I'm like, what? Just cancels it. He's like, oh, oops.
Is he gonna make Blink and Charge at the same time? Well, both players going for those 2 gates and both adding another gate there. Parting a little bit behind, of course. Had to put a lot of minerals into that Nexus that Zest does not have.
What Parting's plan is here. Never really been a Protoss player in PvP plan to just get an early economic lead and try to roll with that. He's going to have a tech lead if he defends. If he dies, he dies. Dead man has nothing to say.
Yeah. Well, against certain builds, it can definitely hold off a bunch of stuff, But I'm not sure against the Blink, if he gets vision on the high ground, could definitely blink onto the high ground and avoid that first Nexus.
That's an interesting choice. You see that at home he warps in 3 sentries?
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't sure exactly what the idea was behind that. But these 3 Stalkers coming in, they do not have Blink just yet, but they are going to force out the overcharge.
I wonder if he thinks he's just going to trick his opponent here. Okay, he gets +1, so he is banking again on those upgrades, which won him the game, arguably, in Game 1 when we got to late game. That's a decision where I think Zest looks at this game and he's like, okay, you played greedy but safe enough to where I'm just going to play the late game, and I'm just going to focus on that, because in another matchup, like Zerg versus Zerg, if you just went over there and you went for an aggressive timing, and then you saw the Zerg player's third base and you just didn't attack, you'd be like way behind. You can't in other matchups just go, well, he has a base, but I'm cool with that. But in PvP, you can kind of do that. You can kind of just sit back and say, well, I'm going to have the better tech, and I'm just going to beat you in the late game, because we're both not going to really take a fight against each other until later, unless you have some sort of weird specific timing. But in PvP, both of us are sending Phoenixes at each other all the time, so there's not really any secrets.
Yeah, definitely something that Zest can do here. It definitely shows his knowledge of this matchup, that he's just able to go for something like this, where he had something in mind, but then once seeing the build of his opponent, he just switches it entirely. That's something you only see when they see their opponent, they see what units they have, what buildings they have, and they're just like on the what's it called? On the drop of a dime, they can just switch up their build and switch up their idea 100%. And it seems like Zest definitely going for something similar here. That Phoenix, hallucinated Phoenix does not get in the main base. A nicely denied scout by parting there.
Well, I mean, tech-wise, parting is way ahead. He has these Immortals, and I think he's going to try to do a big attack with this. With all these sentries, he's got a ton of force fields to use to try to zone out his opponent's stalkers. There's not very many units actually at all on the map right now for Zest. He needs these gates. He's going to have +1, but in this matchup, +1 as a defensive upgrade is, well, it's just not that useful. It's about as useful as Blink is against a Marauder push with stalkers.
And because he went for fast upgrades, he does not have the units that Parting has here. He has no Immortals right now. I believe he's trying to get one out right now, but it's not out yet. And he's trying to make some gateways here. They're not ready just yet.
Oh, the grab!
That was nice. Nice little pick off there. Makes it a lot harder for Parting to attack right now.
I get chills when I see those Game Heart force fields, man. Like, those are all blue. That's very clear. I mean, with all these gates, he does have a lot more production he can start to utilize here. The Temple Archives is way away. If he had that to get an Archon out, things would be good. But I mean, we just witnessed a player move out with about a 20 army supply lead. By the time he got there in a PvP also, that's closed. With the defender's advantage of those force fields, the Nexus Cannon, he literally does no damage. 0 units lost here. Moved across the map, and that's why in PvP, if you get to this point where neither player can kill each other after about, like, say 7 minutes or so, sometimes a little bit longer depending on the game, it's pretty tough to hit a timing on 2 base versus 2 base to break somebody. So then you just accept that the game is going to the late game. And now that we've accepted this, look at the upgrades. +2 finishes around the same time that Parting's +1 finishes.
And this is why this is so smart out of Zest, because he knew that he saw what Parting was doing, and he's like, okay, I know that if you go for an attack with 2 Immortals, I'm going to be able to hold it. I have a bunch of sentries. That's why he warped in the 3 sentries, for something like that, to pick off a Stalker here, pick off even more units if possible. He knew he would have the cannon, he would be totally fine. And now, Zest taking a 3rd base very confidently after he defends that attack.
He has the faster Archons. I mean, Immortals can do a whole lot for you, but this is something that already Zest is also catching up on. And you can also make a ton of Archons all at once. You can't do that for Immortals, unless you have a bunch of Robos, which would be weird. He's even now confident enough, it seems, to pressure out here and try to force a cancel on this base. Yep. I talked about earlier, how hard it is to actually attack in this matchup. The 3rd base is oftentimes a time where there's an exception to this, because you're not really at that same solid 2-base defender's advantage. There's a lot of room to work with and a lot of angles. Is he just going to concede this point? If he lets this base go, he's going to regret it, I'd say. Okay, now he's going to commit here.
Yep, and here's the fight. Guardian Shield goes up. Zealots charge in, not getting much damage. He's going to come behind the Nexus here and fight from behind. Has the Archons in the front, warps in a bunch more Zealots.
And a ton of Archons coming from behind as well. It's a lot of splash damage here on those Immortals. Even the sentries at the back doing some extra damage. Time Warp goes down here. It looks like Zest actually might have it just too much. He might just break through here. Don't forget, he has that upgrade advantage right now on Parting. +2 versus the +1. The Immortals are starting to fade away for Parting, and he's dancing his units right now. Looks pretty over to me, Brendan. It looks like Parting is going to get 0-2 here.
Oh man, that was just this is giving me chills out of Zest. He's playing this just so well.
A man is really able to assess Protoss versus Protoss, look at it for exactly what it is. GG. That was solid play. Just to commit all those resources to Blink and then only make 3 Stalkers, drop the sentries, build a Nexus with those extra minerals, sit back, defend that timing, get the Forge up, that fast Forge, that whole upgrade lead that he has there.
So smart.
The ability to make all those Archons all at once, knowing that the burst of gas he's going to get there allows him to make those units all at once, versus Parting having those Immortals earlier, which doesn't mean as much.
Yeah, and Parting looks stumped. So you could see him in the booth there. He has his hand on his face. He's like, oh my god, that's what it feels like to get defeated by Zest once again. Zest showing he's not going anywhere. Really, really good PvPs there.
That was a pretty one-sided match. Now, up next, I feel like the next matchup is going to be a little bit less one-sided. We're going to have a representative from Europe up against a North American representative. MMA is going to face Revival in a TVZ after a